Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a selection of highlight clips from the past couple of days of grinding here in single player on Te Awara. Now as you guys will have just seen, I did end up shooting this yesterday, which was a pretty decent size level 5 fallow deer. Now I'm not actually grinding for diamond fallow deer, I have a good number of them already. I'm actually grinding specifically for a melanistic fallow deer buck because it is the only rare that I have never shot for fallow deer as a buck. I've never even shot a doe, so I really am trying very hard to get a melanistic to spawn. However, seeing level 5s pop up is always really cool, and this guy is a decent sized diamond at 264, and it's just nice and encouraging to see level 5s popping up. And carrying on with the theme of level 5 fallow deer, I had this guy pop up too. Again, a really good size level 5, and I knew he would make diamond with that rack. So again, we're going to take him out quickly with the M1. Not a lot of cover here, same with the previous buck, so I couldn't really get them with the bow. I did actually try for a little while to take the buck in the previous clip with the bow, but unfortunately, because of the lack of cover, he just kept spooking. So I ended up taking him with the M1, same as with this guy here. This guy's a little bit smaller at 262.20, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to keep taxing all of the diamond fallow deer I'm getting, because yeah, there's a few of them and I've got quite a lot of them in my trophy manager. And since I got that 270, I don't have a lot of use for a lot of the smaller ones, so I've just saved that one for now, and we will see if I end up taxing him in the future. But moving on from fallow deer to feral goats, and I have had some pretty insane luck happening with the feral goats, not in the specific way I'd really like it to, in terms of getting a decent sized black colour feral goat or an albino, but in terms of getting big goats, I have had a lot of luck. Now, as you guys will see here, there is a really decent sized diamond potential level 4 stood right beside a level 5. This is my absolutely favourite spot to grind the feral goats here on the river, and just seeing these two big goats walking side by side was such a cool sight. Now, I was pretty confident that level 5 was not going to make diamond, but seeing as he was the higher level, I decided I would try and take him out first. He also ended up giving me a shot before the level 4 anyway, so this was the one that I wanted to take out. And I didn't realise at this point, but it was getting very near to the end of their drink time, or at least for me when these guys start clearing out of their zones. I've noticed that there's a lot of animals leaving their zones early recently, and also getting to their zones really late, and this was no different. And you can see the level 4 there stops, and then the level 5 stops, and I was pretty confident to go for a heart shot, and I managed to drop him on the spot. And you can see the level 4 clears off there, running away with the rest of the group. But I wasn't going to try and take a running shot on it, just in case it did end up having the potential to make diamond. You can see there's a good number of goats in this area, and this is why I absolutely love this spot for grinding them. But even the ones that didn't get spooked from the shot started to head off, and unfortunately, as this level 4 runs away, he actually goes into those trees and didn't come back. Now, what I decided I was going to do, after sitting there for a couple of minutes and seeing that they just weren't coming back, was that I'd pick up this guy, which I was pretty confident was going to troll just looking at him, and then we'd reset the game. But first we got to pick him up, so let's see what he scores. And yeah, 203.40, blonde, level 5 feral goat, and just managed to get that heart shot in there. I love to get that heart shot on these guys, it's always really satisfying. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm fast travelling back to the lodge, and I'm going to set the time back a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is reset the map. And what I mean by reset the map is I'll exit to the main menu and then come back in. And all that'll do is that the animals that should be in that zone will then be in that zone. It kind of makes them go to their zone as if it was, I don't know, as if they weren't spooked. And when I'm just trying to get animals like this down for respawns, it's a really good way of doing things. And with single player, this is the advantage that I talked about with my bow hunting video the other day, where you can do this, so if you spook an animal from its need zone, you can just exit to the main menu. As long as it's within the time, when you then come back into the game like this, it should be stood in that need zone where it should be. And as I said, with it being near the end of the drink time, they weren't going to come back for a while, and as I said, I've been having a lot of trouble with animals not coming back to their zones if they've been spooked, even if it's within the time, so it just made this a lot more efficient. However, the reason I decided I would show this is because something pretty wild happened. So you can see that level 4, who's the goat that I wanted to target to take out here, but I noticed as I was scanning around that there was another really big looking goat. And as I sort of dragged my reticle around there trying to get a spot on him, hopefully I was trying to get there, it is another level 5. And I stopped in complete disbelief because I was like, okay, that was the only goat I shot before I closed the session and then reopened the session. So a level 5 respawned from the level 5 I had just killed. And this is a question that people ask quite a lot, is can a max level animal respawn from a max level animal? Can a diamond respawn from a diamond? Well, we knew that that level 5 from just now didn't make diamond, but another level 5 respawned from him, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Decided I was going to take that level 4 out first because he was pretty big, and that hopefully the level 5 would come back, which he did. I took a bit of a risky shot because, again, I was pretty confident that guy was going to troll. I've seen those horns on a lot of level 5s, and they've never made diamond. So, picking up the level 4, I didn't expect this. The level 4 actually did make diamond at 209.90. So this is the one I should have taken out in the first place, but with him being a level 4, I never expect them to make diamond, and it's always a bit of a, oh, wow, it actually made it when you pick them up. So that was really, really cool. But the whole point of this clip was the whole fact that I had a level 5 respawn from a level 5. Now, I was pretty confident that was a troll respawning from a troll, but that's a max level respawning from a max level right on footage. You don't see that a lot. And yeah, this guy was also a troll at 201.70. So again, pretty small, not really that close to being a diamond. Really nice looking goat though. And like I said, to see a level 5 respawn from a level 5 was absolutely wild. And it's just so cool to actually see something like that happen. That's the first time I've ever seen a max level respawn from a max level. And like I said, I shot no other goats in that sort of previous session before I exited to the main menu and back in. So it was only that one it could have respawned from, which to me was just absolutely bonkers. And from one pretty crazy feral goat encounter to another, I was at this zone, which again is a really, really good zone for feral goats, grinding them, looking for an albino or a decent sized black, which is the other rare fur type for the feral goats. And as you guys will have just seen, there was not one level 5, but 2. Now, one of them is a guaranteed diamond with a minimum estimate of 212, and the other one I was pretty sure was going to troll, as his max estimate was only 209. Now, I spent a long time, again, trying to get this level 5 with the bow, but there's just no cover in that area that would work, and even the trees that said they gave me full cover when I was up against them, this goat just knew I was there, so I don't know if it wasn't actually giving me cover when it said it was, but no matter what, I spent over an hour trying to get him with the bow, and it just wasn't happening, so I decided I'd take them both with the muzzle loader just for a little bit of fun. Now, obviously, I wanted to get the guaranteed diamond down first, so that's what we've done. And then we have this level 5, which, as I said, with that top estimate of 209, it was like a 99% chance that he was going to be a troll, which is a shame. I wish it was this one that was the guaranteed diamond, because this is probably my favourite common fur type for the feral goats. This black-brown, I believe it's called, is absolutely stunning. But managed to drop them both. This guy is absolutely gorgeous, but I didn't think he was big enough, and yeah, not big enough, 203.20, so quite high scoring for that estimate that he had, but unfortunately not big enough to make that diamond requirement. This, as I said, is one of my favourite fur types, if not my favourite fur type for them overall, for the common fur types for them, if that makes sense. It's just really, really nice looking. But moving on over to this guy, which is actually my least favourite fur type of the common fur types. I don't really like this one. It says brown, but it almost looks pinkish, and I've never been like the biggest fan of this fur type. But of course, him being a guaranteed diamond was really, really cool. You don't see that a lot with the feral goats. And he is a pretty good sized diamond at 215.10, which is, again, really, really nice to see. Not the rares that I'm looking for, but it's really cool to see. And something else that I think is worth noting is with all the grinding of the feral goats that I've done, both in single player and going through multiple multiplayer sessions looking for the rare feral goats, I don't think that the mixed goats are as common as they used to be, because I haven't seen a single mixed fur type goat since the Mississippi update. So whether those have been made a proper rare, I'm not entirely sure, but I've definitely not seen a single one of those pop up yet, so they might now be a proper rare. But moving from feral goats and onto the Sika deer, and I spotted this guy, which is an absolute monster of a Sika. He is the big rack, and he has a minimum estimate of 216, which is absolutely huge. Now, I decided I wanted to take this guy with a bow. I was really hoping this could be a new personal best, and you guys can see I'm pretty close to this guy, and I'm not even fully hidden, and he doesn't know I'm here. Again, I think there's some weird stuff going on with certain places on this map that say they give you cover and they don't, and places that say they don't give you cover that do, but this guy just didn't notice me. And you will probably notice that the Sika deer don't tend to notice you very much if you go and run around for any length of time in the forests here on Te Awara. And this guy was no exception. He just didn't have a clue that I was here, which was really, really weird. But I did manage to get him with the bow. I was really happy with that. And as you can see, there was a smaller one with him, which just spooked off. But this guy dropped on the spot. You can see all that vital blood. Unfortunately, he's in a bit of a bush, so can't look at his antlers really well on the ground. But picking him up, he's a 219.20 scoring diamond Sika. Now, my personal best before this was in the 218 range, and I just cannot believe that I ended up getting this guy. This is the first diamond Sika that I have had pop up on this albino Sika stag grind, and he's an absolute giant. And I can tell you now that with the hidden decimal, this ties me, as far as I can tell, and from what I've been told, this ties me with one other person as having the biggest Sika deer stag ever shot. And that is absolutely insane. When I said, there's a really big Sika and I've just shot him and he's 219, there was someone immediately said, okay, what was the decimal? Because when you put an animal like this into the trophy lodge, you can see it says 219.20, but when I actually put him into the lodge, it's 219.26, which is the exact same score as, from what I have been told, the biggest Sika that's ever been shot. Now, I haven't heard from anyone else that a bigger one than this has been shot, so please, if you have shot one, let me know down in the comments. But either way, this is an incredible, absolute giant of a Sika stag. And like I said, he's not the albino that I was looking for, but my gosh, I'm more than happy to take one of this size, and to take him with the bow on my own map. It was just such a cool experience. I really, really was so happy with that. Now, I also got something else which you guys will have seen in the thumbnail that was really, really awesome. So I have been decimating basically entire herds of Sika on my map, similar to how I grind whitetail, and I had a very, very cool animal show up as a result. That is an albino Sika Hind. And these guys are just so rare, like so incredibly rare. You don't ever see these guys posted, they're just so rare. Like, I can't express how rare these are. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was in absolute shock. Now, I placed that marker because I was thinking about going to the lodge and getting a bow. But these guys were nervous. I didn't have their zone. I wasn't sure where they'd come from. I just saw her, and I honestly, with her coming this close, all I wanted to do was drop this thing. And I had the M1 on me, which is ethical for them anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm not going to waste this opportunity while she stood so close and just perfectly stood there. What an incredible looking animal. And just going to drop her there with the M1, and she falls on the spot, which is what happens when you shoot Sika with the M1. It always feels a bit overpowered for them. But yeah, not the albino stag that I'm grinding for, but this is going to go somewhere in the main trophy lodge on one of those small plaques, because they're just so incredibly rare. You can't, whether it's a stag or a hind, I can't complain. It's an incredible rare. And yeah, albino Sika hind. I was so pumped when I saw this thing. This gives me so much hope that hopefully I can get a stag to respawn as an albino. If I just keep doing the things I'm doing, hopefully we will get one. But this is an incredible trophy. It's, you know, a lot of people would be disappointed because it's only a female, but I'm not. This is like it's like getting a albino female lion. This is so rare, and I am so grateful. I was so excited to see this just beautiful animal turn up, and I am really looking forward to seeing what else comes out of these grinds that I'm working on. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. A bit of a shorter one because I'm working so much on grinding in single player, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much, as always, for all your support and for watching the video. I will see you guys in the next one.